G'day everyone, it's Rowan from Renovation Insider. Today we'll be discussing the importance of indoor air quality with the help of our specialist and dear friend, Professor Anne. Most people don't realise that in your day-to-day life there's a significant number of contaminants in your indoor environment that affect your physical health. At least 1 in 3 Australians have a reaction to some personal care products, but we cannot identify specifically what they are reacting to nor those long-term consequences. Furthermore, we have no idea of what the chemicals are in fragrances as they are commercially sensitive, and consequently we have no idea what we're placing on our skin and ingesting. Everyone is aware that sometimes the house can get messy, and God forbid you have a teenage son. Young boys in particular won't pick up on the same smells from their room that you do. Although using a fragrance or some perfume to freshen up your room can also affect your health due to the harmful chemicals that could damage you or your child's lung health more than any potential offence to your nose. Already we have 12% of Australia's population identifying as somewhat asthmatic, and this number is increasing, so the further use of these chemicals will not help us in any shape or form. So, what should we take into consideration and how can we improve this situation? Be aware, indoor air quality is not thought about or cared for like outdoor air quality is. This leads to a serious problem of indoor air quality becoming unmonitored and unregulated. Examples of these unregulated pollutants include air fresheners, cleaning products, and our personal care lotions and potions. The other major culprit is housing materials, especially in newly renovated homes, where these new materials can off-gas from carpets and new floor materials and paints, creating harmful fumes. This is a major problem, for all of these products do not have a requirement to list all their ingredients. This exposes our skin and especially our lungs to these harmful chemicals day in, day out. Furthermore, when it comes to personal care products such as cosmetics, shampoos, lotions, these do have to disclose ingredients. However, they do not have to disclose any ingredients involving a fragrance, as it can just label these chemicals used in the fragrance under the name of a scent. Scent of depleted plutonium sounds nice. Some ways we can help ourselves and each other is to strive towards a more non-toxic environment inside our homes. First is to take the step of using fresh air rather than air fresheners. Air fresheners do not freshen the air, they're adding a mysterious something to our air. Then by selecting non-toxic products, we can allow our bodies and immune system to adjust to a healthy, more beneficial environment, not just inside our homes but outside. Be aware that fragrance-free does not necessarily mean non-toxic. Finally, I would like to leave you with some key points from our phenomenal expert, Professor Anne Steinemann.
Imagine that in the last couple of years in particular, with our susceptibility and awareness around airborne or viral or pandemic situation, that our awareness has changed. Would that be fair to say?
Absolutely, Rowan. You ask great questions. Our awareness has changed, if not increased, and our exposure to pollutants indoors has increased, because during a disaster, whether it's a pandemic or a cyclone or a bushfire or a flood, people spend more time indoors. And that means people's exposure is going to be greater. Plus, the products that people are using indoors to combat, whether it's the pandemic or mold or something, are going to emit hazardous chemicals. Most of our exposure occurs indoors, more than 90% of it. And that's because of two factors that make the problem worse. One is that we spend most of our time indoors. About 90% of our time, if not more, is spent indoors in industrialized country. The other problem is that pollutants indoors are several times higher indoors than outdoors. So while we have all this attention on monitoring and regulating outdoor air quality, the real culprit is indoor air quality, which is essentially unmonitored and unregulated. So I call it the perfect storm. So you have most of our exposure to pollutants occurs indoors.
Yep.
But these indoor environments are not regulated or monitored. like they're outdoor.
So
now,
nobody's checking their
no,
air
there's
quality
no-
inside their house.
There's no requirement to. What's the big bad actor here? It is things like consumer products, air fresheners, laundry products, cleaning supplies, personal care products, candles, household items. That's one of the culprits. The other culprit is building materials, especially in new and renovated buildings.
Yeah.
So the problem is things like the flooring, the carpeting, the plywood, the furnishings, the paints, the varnishes, the finishes, all of that. Museum. Well, in my studies, I have found that more people would prefer, a strong majority of people around the world, would prefer fragrance-free environments rather than fragrance environments. In fact, in Australia, I found that nearly a fifth of the people who walk into a store, if they smell like air freshener or some fragrance product, they'll turn around and walk away. So they're actually losing business. Given a choice between a hotel that is fragrance-free or a hotel that pumps like some designer scent through the HVAC system, a strong majority would prefer the fragrance-free hotel. Now, this is even among people who are not sensitive to fragrance. So a third of the people are sensitive to fragrance. 2/3 of Australians don't really say that they are, even though they may be. But they still would prefer fragrance-free hotels, fragrance-free airplanes, fragrance-free workplaces.